Hello and welcome back to Pints with Pals. I'm Mike, one of your hosts. With me is Jeremy and Jason. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
I was like, Jeremy, you didn't say it.
Yeah.
Today's beer it's from a collection of it's Three Floyds makes it. It's not really from a collection technically. It's from our collection, I suppose. This is called Cocomungo. It is a barrel aged coconut stout. Basically an Imperial Stout. I've had it. It was delicious when I had it, but I also probably had beers before that, so it's hard for me to say for sure.
So looking at the bottle, it has Smurfs on there. So I was really hoping that it'd be like a blueberry flavor stout. And when I read the ingredients, it's not a blueberry flavor stout at all. So it has coconut. So I'm not sure what the Smurfs are for.
Yeah, they didn't have a whole hell of a lot of information on their site about it, just like what it was. But it's like a Smurf riding like a mech, essentially. It's a pretty cool looking bottle. All their bottles are pretty cool looking, albeit a little bit hard to really recognize what it is in there. So that's the only part that I'm a little bit less happy about, because it's hard to tell what actually you got.
Right.
It's got a good smell to it, but this is
15.6 ABV. I think drinking enough of this, we can stare at the label and we'll figure out something.
That's pretty tasty. That's still really good.
Thumbs up from me.
Yeah. This is so Three Floyds is one of those breweries that they do Dark Lord Day. So they make Dark Lord. You've heard us talk about that forever. Jason and I went down there this year. It's like a big, I want to say metal fest, but it's more of a beer fest that just happens to have metal in the background. And you can very much get all you want to drink and then leave before that happens. But that's a really, really good beer. It's a really, really heavy beer, and it's a really, really rare beer. So I'm happy to see stuff like this come out that has a good flavor but isn't as rare. It might be rare, but it's not as rare. Like, I don't have to go there and like literally watch a concert to get a bottle of it or whatever. So we just got this from Total Wine.
That's pretty cool. Oh, did you know?
It's a Total Wine. Wow.
I've not seen. Well, I typically stay away from the barrel aged beers at Total Wine down in South Carolina. So I try to find stuff that you guys would find, I guess. Probably keep an eye out for it.
So it's definitely a thumbs up for me as well.
Yeah. I get like a lot of maple on the nose for sure. I don't get much. I mean, I get coconut flavor in the mouth, but I don't smell any coconut, which is kind of interesting since that should be a little more pronounced, I would think. The chocolate's kind of there. I am picking up a little bit of saltiness, but I don't know why though.
I don't
Look
get
at the ingredients. I don't see any.
So reading the only info that I could find about this from Three Floyds. Behold the legend of Cocomungo. This devastating Imperial Stout was aged for over a year in Willet bourbon barrels and brewed with double roasted crystal malt, maple syrup, and toasted coconut. Layer upon layer of coconut, maple, and rich chocolate await, backed by whiskey and oak notes from barrel aging. I don't get any whiskey. I don't personally.
I think that I get that in the sweetness. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, it's not the maple syrup.
No, I think the maple syrup just imparts the maple smells and flavors, because I feel like all the sugars get eaten up in that typically. But it could be all of the above. And they're getting the most of the chocolate flavors from, I'm assuming, the malt or the hops that they're using, and not like pulling it from anything.
Be malt, but yeah, probably.
So
or anyhow, could be using the cocoa nibs.
Yeah.
As well, to get some of that rich.
Yeah, sometimes flavors. They say that though, and this one didn't actually say that specifically.
No, it doesn't say it. Well, I also wonder if they made like a tincture too, right? Because some I've seen where they'll take like the cocoa nibs, they'll pour the whiskey or whatever liquor they want over top of it, let it sit for like a week, and pour that into the beer itself.
It's not super bitter. I'm surprised that it's not like more bitter for
it's really sweet,
as dark as it is. It looks like
it's delicious.
Like it literally coats the glass. I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but like my glass is now brown from it.
It's like 10W30.
Yeah. It looks like I'm drinking like a port because I'm drinking out of a wine.
It makes it taste better though.
Yeah, it does.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's very good. Thumbs up for me. I mean, it'll probably only get better as it warms up or breathes. I am so used to because I have so much Founders at home, and that's like all I've been drinking barrel age wise. And this is refreshing compared to Founders. Founders has such a bitter. I mean, not to talk about Founders, but such a bitter aftertaste. It like just sticks to your tongue, and this is just. It's good, considering you didn't have to go all the way to Three Floyds to get it. So
yeah,
right,
great,
very tasty.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that because you were, Jason was saying that he's kind of over barrel aging stuff or anything barrel aged, especially with the massacre that we had, and you were extremely against, not extremely against it, but we were all kind of against that one, so that's kind of a bad example, I suppose. But I was like, this is surprisingly tasty. And the first time I had it, there's a place in Ann Arbor called Rapport, and they had they were the only place in Michigan to have death by currents, I think. It was
that's a Revolution, right?
Yeah, it was a Revolution beer. It was a Revolution beer, but it was Gravedigger. It was the very, very old VSO Gravedigger. It's like a very special old version of their stuff, and they had a keg of it, and they released it before the Revolution even released their beer to the public, like for realsies. And I was like, that's kind of cool. So we were actually driving out to Chicago for that release, and then went to Rapport the day before and hung out with Tate's, and then he's the one that showed, like, they had this on in behind the bar, and he's like, dude, you got to try one of these too. And like, that was delicious. So I was like, all right. And then we found it at Total Wine just after that. So it was kind of cool. I was excited to see it. I don't think.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Do I now?
I don't think we have very many of them. I think we only bought like a 4-pack or maybe 2 4-packs, and one I split with you guys so that we could share.
Right. I was actually surprised on the price. They're not. I don't know how much you paid at Total Wine, but just in general, it's like sub $30 for a 4-pack.
Yeah, I don't think they're that
expensive. I've seen so far, which is pretty good.
Yeah, especially for something with this kind of flavor.
Yeah.
Well, them and amount of alcohol too.
True. That's probably why you can't get it. You don't see it at your Total Wine. It's too high %.
Well, I think that I went to so when I go visit my son in South Carolina, they don't have that law there.
Mm.
But like I said, I usually skip all that barrel aged stuff, and I try to find stuff that I know both Total Wine should have in theory, right? I don't try to buy anything that's made in South Carolina because more likely you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But no, I like it. I give it a thumbs up. I guess I don't think I ever gave it my opinion yet on it. But yeah, it's a very solid pastry stout, or imperial pastry stout rather, which is pretty tasty. I did look up a few other ones, just try to get some other, see what else is out there that actually had like toasted coconut and maple syrup in it. And one company stood out, which is called Westbrook's. You guys ever heard of them?
Mm-mm.
I haven't either, but they have one one sounds really good. The other one sounds questionable. I would like to try it with people around because I don't want to drink it all by myself. So the one that sounds kind of questionable is called Double Toasted Coconut Macadamian Maple Syrup Barrel Aged Beer. It's the label too. It's this long label. And everything that's in it sounds fine. Like it has coffee, cocoa nibs, almonds, coconut. The one thing I'm a little afraid of is the habanero peppers.
It has cinnamon and habanero peppers. So like the cinnamon flavor makes hotter. So like you're going to put cinnamon and habanero. I'm not a fan of habanero flavored drinks.
Right. I don't think I could do a whole bottle by myself, but I wouldn't mind splitting a bottle just to try it, just to see what it would taste like. But it's definitely scary. And then the other one sounds like a little baby. It's their Mexican Biscotti barrel aged beer, which is again another maple syrup, has toasted coconut, vanilla, almond, cocoa nibs, and macadamia nuts. So yeah, that's kind of. I've never seen them. They definitely popped up like the first 5 results of like just maple coconut barrel aged beers.
Well, the first one you. Sorry, Mike. The first one you mentioned reminds me of the Odd Side bourbon barrel aged Imperial Mayan Mocha, which is also a mouthful, but that one has habanero in it. And Tate's left a few at my house once. I'm like, oh, what are these? I'll just have it. And I think it was a summer day by the time I decided to have it. So it's 90 degrees out, and I drink it. Or I'm drinking. I'm like, it's so spicy. I didn't even read the label. I just opened it. I'm like, I can't finish it. It's too hot for this.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think that everything that is like Mayan or Mexican or any of those kind of flavors, they typically have like a cinnamon in them. So like if you see that in a beer, I would say that 9 times out of 10 they'll just have like a cinnamon or Mexican spices, which are basically cinnamony flavored. So I can't, for whatever reason, I like cinnamon and I like cinnamon in stuff, but I just don't like cinnamon in beverages. It's I don't like what's the like pumpkin pie?
Like Fireball?
I don't care for
Fireball whiskey.
Fireball. I can drink a shot of it. I would usually do Jack Fire instead of Fireball whiskey, but it's a little less sweet and more whiskey-y. But those don't bother me as much because I know that that's what they're there. But like when I get a beer, I don't really want that. Like
it's true. Beer is different then. We were out. I mean, we haven't. Well, I guess we could segue into this, but we were out last night with Matt from Pittsburgh here, and we went to. It was a Home Alone pop-up bar. Apparently, that's my thing now. I go to pop-up bars, and they had a rum chata Fireball mixed drink. Which I mean, you can. I mean, rum chata and Fireball is delicious together, so it was good. But it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of Fireball. It's like I'm good.
Those kind of super sweet drinks really hurt my stomach now. Just like I'll typically end up mixing them into a giant night of drinking, and then you do like a Fireball shot or any kind of super sweet shot. My wife really likes to do mini beers. It's got like
those are good.
I forget what it's called. There's like it's a number, a liquor.
Yeah, VS5 or something. VO5.
Yeah, it's a Vicar. I don't know. Anyhow, it is that like.
Isn't that the stuff girls would put in their hairs to curl their hair, stuff like that?
VO5.
Yeah.
It's like
I think that's what that is, right? Isn't it?
I think it's just it's probably just a shampoo or a conditioner or something. But I typically end up. I always say this, but it's like those are the ones that put me over the edge. Drinking wise, and then I'm just like, well, that was what it was. It was that. It wasn't the 15 Bud Lights that I had. It was the 3 shots.
All the other stuff you drink.
Yeah.
Liquor 43.
Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's liquor something.
Yeah, not VO5 or whatever.
VO5. That's what the foam stuff on top. Yeah.
Room just freaked out. Sorry,
I went to dinner today, and I had they had a raspberry stout on tap, and I was excited because I was like, all right, cool, I'll try that. And they brought it. First of all, it was like super cold, like way colder than any tap I've ever really experienced, especially in that bar. And then I could smell the raspberry. And I could taste it a little bit, but then it just tasted like water. It was very confusing to me to have like get a stout and it have like absolutely no body. No, it was like maybe there was no fizz. I don't really know what was wrong with it. I couldn't pinpoint it, but the issue was just that it was like I can't drink this, and it was like gross. So I was like, I'll have a Bud Light instead. And so
for one flavor body,
I'll have a Bud Light bottle, and then that was skunked. I was like,
oh, geez.
This is I don't.
It just
understand.
wasn't meant to be.
Like a
That's what it
Heineken.
was.
So I was like, no, I'm done with this. And then it turns out they had Perrin's Blackberry IPA on tap. So I was like, all right, well that's cool. And she's like, I gotta warn you, if you want an IPA, this is not an IPA. And I was like, I know. That's the reason I like it. Is it's like a sour and an IPA had a baby. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Have you had that, Jeremy?
I don't think so. I don't know you guys talked about it before, but
we should try and do.
I thought I had you try one when you were here, but I don't remember now.
If I did, I don't recall. We drank almost every night I was there, so we didn't drink a lot, but I mean we drink every night though. We need to find a white stout in common that we can all find if someone else is gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, so like confusingly tasty.
Because it's not black, it's not brown, it's white to pretty much clear.
Dragon's milk makes I guess it's a milk stout. Never mind.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, it may be really clearish looking, but it has the body of a stout. You're like, what the heck is this? Kind of like that black lager I made.
Yeah, I really want you.
There's Dragon's Milk White, bourbon barrel aged white stout. So that's the
weird.
one
That's this one. The one of the founders' beers. It's barrel aged Marvel roast.
Gotcha.
It was. I can't wait for your seeing it and then just be like, how is this beer that it tastes like it's this color, but it looks like it's
right.
I don't know, like an Oktoberfest or something. It's pretty weird. It's very trippy.
Yeah, I only poured half that beer. I still have half the beer in there.
No, I can already feel my face turning red.
Right.
All my ears are on fire already.
Yeah,
it's so warm.
Well, we gotta finish it by the end of the episode, so
I can finish this half bottle this episode. But yeah, so yesterday was my wife's birthday, so
happy
ended up taking her to happy birthday. You know, I got her tickets to go see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, so we drove all to Knoxville and watched that. It was really cool. I only knew a couple other songs. I didn't know they have 2 acts. One act is it's like telling of the story, and then the second act is just them just playing all sorts of music. They're all big Christmas music, but it was really neat. They brought back one of the original what's his name? I can't remember his name, I think, but he was the conductor. They brought him back for this show, not for this show, but for this tour. They brought back one of the original singers from like 24 years ago from the first album they ever made. Because they started in 1999. They've been around for a while. There's a few other things too they talked about. It was pretty neat, but it was pretty cool. If you never got a chance to see it, I'd recommend going watch it. I'd do it again because I don't know if it changes from year to year. I don't know if they do different stories, if it's the same thing, but it was really, really cool. I had a good time.
I didn't know they had singers.
Yeah.
I saw them years and years ago at the Silver Dome when that was still a thing, or maybe it was the Palace. I don't remember, but Palace of Auburn Hills in Michigan. Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. My parents bought the tickets, so I was a child, and it was it's like a rock show. It's like there's all sorts of stuff going on. It's like a light show. It was cool.
That was really cool, yeah. And I didn't pay a lot either, which was kind of cool. Maybe it was just where I'm at, because I think I priced them like other places. They can get quite expensive, but I don't know. It wasn't too horrible at all. Just a nice little drive, like 4-hour round trip.
Wow. Did you do that in one night? Yeah, I guess so. You're back.
On a Thursday?
On a Thursday night, yeah. Drove out. They got out of work at 3:30. Drove out there. Parked at my son's apartment complex. He drove us back to his campus because the arena is right on his campus, basically.
Okay.
Or the theater or whatever. And then we just walked to it and then called them up, come pick us up. So if not, we had to pay $20 for parking, which we could have, but gave the son and the wife to see each other and, the wife's birthday. So yeah, it was a fun little time.
That's cool. Yeah. So the other artist that I kind of want to see during this time of year is Lindsey Sterling. She's the violinist. Yeah. She does, I guess, one hell of a Christmas show. My wife, I think, would really like that. I went to the Metallica concert this year, and it was like, I think I'm kind of done with concerts. It was just so uncomfortable and so loud.
Well, you had your
issues.
Oh yeah, my back issues.
Yeah,
that could have been it too. But I don't know. They've just gotten really expensive, and it's like I feel like
they're stupid expensive. Yeah,
you can't, like, there's no good beer there or anything. So it's like, hey, do you want a $25 Bud Light? I'm like, well, not really.
But I didn't want a beer, so I'll take it.
Right. They had Atwater stuff there, so it was kind of nice.
Do they?
Some of it was.
Atwater's pretty good. I like their vanilla, or was it Java vanilla, or something like that. Yeah. So I was looking at other concerts at that venue, and Aerosmith's going to be there sometime in January. $800.
Oh goodness.
A ticket for the seats that we sat in last night. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So, bye, Aerosmith. See ya.
Right. Chicken Little isn't telling me the sky is falling.
Right. I feel like if musicians had all got together, like going, we're not going to charge our fans this no more, that they would actually bring them down to something reasonable. But
I think it's the issue.
So.
Not to get into this debate, but the issue is Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster is
all of them.
Is
StubHub and Epic and whatever.
I think that I don't know if it's every venue, but I think like almost everything has to go through Ticketmaster for some stupid reason, and like you can't sell your tickets externally anymore for certain places. So I don't know if like the venues themselves sell the rights to all of that to Ticketmaster or something, but
no idea.
Probably some exclusive deal. It's like, okay, we'll sell tickets for your facility, but we have to sell all of your tickets. It's not just one-off shows. It's every show goes through us. I don't know. It's a monopoly. And then, you know, like our company, Mike, they just buy up the competition. So it's like, oh, I'm buying from SeatGeek. Meanwhile, it's owned by Ticketmaster.
Right.
Actually, I don't know if SeatGeek is owned by.
And Andy probably will be just like StubHub could be as well too. Because I remember I looked at some concert somewhere or some play or something like that, and like every other row, almost every fifth or sixth seat was by a different company. So like some of them were Ticketmaster, some were StubHub, some were someone else. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I don't want to deal with this.
I apologize.
But I mean, that's how people do.
I apologize to our listeners, but SeatGeek is not owned by Ticketmaster. They are different, but StubHub is owned by Ticketmaster, I think. Live Nation is owned by Ticketmaster.
Yeah, there's like that whole thing. I don't know if you've ever seen the Adam Ruins Everything guy that was on like collegehumor.com, I think, for a minute, and then I think he had his own thing on whatever. But he
TV for a minute.
Yeah, he did like a thing on the eyeglass industry or eye care.
Oh gosh,
like,
that's horrible.
iMed owns basically everything, and it pisses me off because they did this thing where like they're like, we want to buy your company to Oakley. They're like, well, we're going to buy your company, and they're like, Oakley's like, no, we're a big enough name, we're not going to sell it. They're like, okay, well, we're just not going to sell Oakley in our stores. So then it drove the price of Oakley's stock all the way down to the floor. And they're like, okay, now we're going to buy it from you for a 1/100th of what it was worth back before you guys didn't want to sell. And I'm like, that kind of stuff happens too much in, I think, I don't know if it's specifically like in America's like industries or whatever, but in general, like Europe won't allow a lot of merging and buying up of companies like that. The EU, and like that's what is stopped a lot of major companies from like merging together. It even actually stopped our company from merging with another company. Not EU specifically, but like the FCC and stuff like that. They're finally like jumping in and being like, wait a minute. We can't have the two competing industries just merge into one giant industry. But
I think Canada just negotiated with Visa and MasterCard to like get them to lower their rates, or they were not going to accept them in their country anymore or something like that. I think that's how I read it. I was like, oh, it's interesting. Like, because I'm sure Canada has their own version of their own credit card companies. Right. So I guess you're big enough you can.
Yeah, they're just really nice. They don't try and gouge you. I just don't understand how credit card companies can still charge. Not that this is anything about beer. When you buy beer, I'm surprised that credit card companies. I'm surprised that credit card companies can charge at like the register. Like they charge the companies 5% to use them, or something like that, or like 2.5% to 5% to use them anywhere. And I'm like, if they're making money on the sale, and they're making money on the people that can't afford to pay their thing off right away, which is so stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, but you get 2% cash back or whatever it is. You know? It's like, okay, but I still paid 3% extra at the swipe. It's all crazy.
Kind of been the big thing here for like a lot of the small businesses. Like, if you pay with cash, you actually pay the price. So if it's $1.99, you pay $1.99. But if you pay with a card, you're going to pay for the processing fee on top of it. So it's like $2.50 instead of $1.99. Like, oh wow, okay. So I always try to keep cash on me now when I go to smaller mom and pop shops, so I don't get charged, overpay more anyways.
Yeah, it sucks though, because you'd think that it would be more hassle for them to have to like deal with the cash later, or like that much more of a transaction fee or something. It's like, okay, it's $1.99 or $1.43, or your change is 43 cents. And it's like the cashier's like, nickel's $5, but it's bigger.
Now, is this a whole quarter pounder versus a third pounder? King debate.
Yeah, but a 3 is smaller.
Smaller than a 4. So yeah, I'm thinking a quarter pounder. You're ripping me off.
Yeah. Don't even try and give me that half pounder. Okay. That is such BS.
Yeah. So anyways, I still give it a thumbs up. I think it's a good beer.
It's still good.
Yeah. I still have a lot left.
Yeah, I think I'm at.
Did you pour the rest of it in there? Let's switch up the bottle.
Mine's right up there.
That's or minus.
It's definitely, I think it's, I don't know, I get more chocolate now.
It tastes sweeter to me now than
which
it did.
Good. Yeah, that too, yeah. I get chocolate, which is nice. It's weird. I hated chocolate up until like a couple years ago. I couldn't stand chocolate. I thought it was the most disgusting flavor on the earth.
That was me and coffee.
But I think I like dark chocolate. I like dark chocolate better though.
Okay.
I think I like the bitterness of it. Like milk chocolate is fine if it's in a candy bar, but I just can't eat like a Hershey's Kiss or something like that.
Oh, I hate Hershey's.
It's because it's bad chocolate. You haven't experienced you probably have, but there are some that are a lot better, like brands of chocolate. Yeah. Hershey is probably one of the worst because they don't. I don't know what it is about their chocolate, but it seems like they. It's just. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like dry. It's like a really weird like it doesn't.
Bitter.
It doesn't.
It's bitter.
Yeah, it's like chalky almost.
For being milk chocolate, it's
milk chocolate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I get what you're saying. No.
So, Jeremy, would you make anything like this?
I mean, I do think
I tried.
I think of the barrel-aged coconut that you made. I mean, because it's similar flavor, I'd say. You had maple syrup, you had toasted coconut, right? My girlfriend just said this sounded good.
And vanilla. And vanilla. I have vanilla in it.
And bourbon.
Oh, well,
you did. You did cheat a little bit, but
because I didn't barrel age, I actually just bought vanilla bourbon.
You didn't put maple in it.
You didn't?
No,
I don't think so. I'd have to look at the recipe.
Oh, I thought you put maple syrup in.
Recipe. So that's my maple brown ale. That one like 7.5%.
And your
let me go back to
funny.
Blueberry honey. Never mind.
I'm going back to season 1 because your notes. Oh, our notes don't mention your recipe.
Let's see. That's not it. Oh, I did I tell you what I named my American Stout that I'm entering tomorrow for the competition?
No.
I'm calling it the Nibbler Dark Matter.
That's cool. That's poop.
If anybody gets the reference.
It's Nibbler poop.
Nibbler poop, yep.
What's a Nibbler?
It's a great name myself.
That's a good name.
Futurama.
Dark Matter is a brand of coffee. I think that Three Floyds uses that a lot, or used to use it a lot.
They used to. They swapped.
And apparently their stuff this year is terrible. I've heard from Tate's.
I haven't even tried.
You haven't even tried the stuff you got from like 15 years ago. So
I tried one bottle of 2019.
Oh, okay.
I tried that February of 2020. Yes. Before everything shut down.
You weren't even celebrating or you weren't even depressingly just trying to drink one of your beers.
Yeah.
You were like, "Yay, here's the 2022 or 2020."
Right.
Oh.
So Jason is pretty accurate. Have all the flavors minus the maple syrup. I didn't put maple syrup in my my attempt at a bourbon barrel aged stout. Quasi barrel stout, I should say. Because I do have chocolate malt in it. I do have, bourbon, vanilla, coconut, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, so if I were to make this, I would just probably try this again to throw some vanilla, or not vanilla, but maple syrup. But I get a lot of maples, so what I would do differently is I wouldn't add pure maple syrup. I would probably just get extract and put it in there so you can have that maple flavor pronounced. Because I'm not, like Mike said earlier, like it just, even with my maple brown.
Right. You're like, well, I got to go buy all of the maple syrup at this place, and now I have a 22% beer. Whoops.
Yep. You don't taste no maple syrup at all. So yeah, I just get the extract.
Tastes like moonshine.
Or do half and half even. Like I could probably do like a few ounces of. Yeah, I could do that. I could add in actual maple syrup to boost, the alcohol content, and just throw in like 2-3 ounces of maple extract to get that maple flavor. It's actually not a bad idea.
Was your last one?
Take some notes.
Was your last one an Imperial, or did you just do a normal stout?
So that one came in at 9.2%, according to that. But I think it was higher than that. Actually, I think it was more like 10%, or close to 10%. So I would label it as an Imperial Stout myself, because my stout that I have now on tap is like 5.2, 5.3, something like that.
Is it thick? Is it thick for a stout, or is it a thin stout?
It's a thin stout. Tasty. I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I had. It reminded me of, not that we are kind of out of time now, but real quick. Not this fall, but the fall before last, I went to a cidery and they had a donut stout, I think. Yep. And it was like probably 80 degrees outside, and I was like, this is going to be so gross. And I got it, and it was very refreshing, and I was very confused. Like, I guess it was like a dark beer that was like light and crisp and like delicious. I was like, all right, well, I guess there's a whole other side to beer that I didn't know existed. And then we started a podcast.
Keep making more different styles all the time. Every time I read like these articles, I'm just, your imagination is the limit. Just like cooking, you just pick up some crazy great stuff. Yeah. Some stuff's delicious. Some stuff is you should never even try to make.
I feel like that's for sure, definitely in the barrel aging process. That you find some breweries that can do it really well, and some breweries just can't, and they keep trying. But I think they have to try and recoup their losses. Like you probably put, especially if you're going for distribution, you probably put hundreds of thousands of dollars into this one beer, and it tastes like crap. But somebody will probably like it, so you got to put it out there anyway. And that sucks. Yep. It's a big investment for something that may or may not turn out.
But hopefully, you have other beers that you make that help offset that loss, right? Unless I've been to one brewery where I had a flight and all 5 beers sucked. So like, hopefully they stay open. Because nothing was good. But I mean, they were really busy though, so I think it was that group of people like that kind of beer. It just wasn't for me at all.
We went to a place like that too, called Earth and Ales in Traverse City area, I think, and everything tasted like dirt to me. It smelled kind of like dirt and tasted like dirt, and I'm like, they could not have named their brewery any more perfectly. Earth and Ales. It just wasn't for me.
Earth and Rust.
Yeah, I think that the guy that we were with really liked it, so it's obviously there's a market for anybody. So just give it a try. If you don't like it, don't poo-poo them. Just don't go back. And on that note,
support your local breweries.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Or your local brewer. Like, even if it's not the brewery specifically, support your local brewer because they enjoy doing it. It's not very cheap. And if you're over there having a good beer, let them know. I'm sure that they would love to hear that. I wanted to just say thank you. And don't forget to have a pint with your pals.
Yeah. Please drink responsibly.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what to drink next.
And don't forget, we're having we're having our 15th episode is going to be a live stream, which may come out before the 14th episode. So kind of stay tuned. It's definitely going to be after this one comes out. So
we'll have a date
know.
next episode.
Right.
Yes.
Which hopefully is out before we do the live stream.
Right. We'll give you the date and the episode that's going to come out after we've live recorded it.
Yes.
It's going to be on a Monday, though, I think. I think that day worked better for most people.
Probably. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Cheers.
Cheers. Clink.
Clink.